Today, something extraordinary is about to happen. A moment long awaited. A truth long hidden is ready to be spoken. This is not just another speech. This is a divine message sent from heaven itself. A revelation meant for those who have been chosen before time began. If you've ever felt overlooked, forgotten, or uncertain of your purpose, listen closely. Because God is saying to you right now, it's time to tell you everything. But you must listen carefully, for the hour is urgent, and the midnight hour is fast approaching. What I'm about to share will change your understanding of who you are, why you're here, and what you are destined to do. It's time to awaken to the truth of your identity, to the calling that has been burning within your soul, waiting for this very moment to ignite. Open your heart, prepare your spirit, because what follows is not for the casual or the faint of heart. It is a message for the chosen, the prepared, the courageous, those ready to step into the fullness of their God-ordained destiny. The time has come. The clock is ticking. And if you hear this voice, this word, this call, know that you are not here by accident. You were chosen before the foundations of the earth. And now God is ready to unveil His secrets to you. Listen carefully, for what you are about to hear could change everything. Before the foundations of the earth were laid, before the stars were hung in the heavens, before the sun and moon took their place to give light and govern the night, God was already at work. Not only was He creating the world, but He was also setting in motion a divine plan. A plan so intentional and so precise that every detail of your life was written in the eternal book of destiny. You were not a random occurrence or an accident of chance. No, you were chosen before time began. Imagine for a moment the vastness of eternity. No beginning, no end, just the infinite presence of God. In that eternal realm, God's thoughts are not fleeting, they are purposeful and deliberate. He knew your name, your character, your dreams, your potential. He saw the battles you would face, the victories you would win, and the legacy you would leave behind. And He said, "This one I will call mine. This one I will anoint for a task only they can accomplish." There is a divine identity that is stamped on you, an identity that goes beyond your physical appearance, your family background, or your social status. This identity is rooted in the eternal purposes of God. It is the essence of who you truly are, designed and formed by the hand of the Creator Himself. And it is in this identity that you find your true worth, your true value, and your true calling. Too often we live as though we are mere mortals, as though our lives have no greater significance than the day-to-day grind. We look to others for approval, for direction, for meaning. But the truth is, the divine has already spoken over you. You carry the fingerprints of heaven. You are the chosen, the anointed, the set-apart ones whose life carries a weight and a purpose that no one else can fulfill. This choosing is not based on merit or achievement. It is based on God's sovereign will and His unfathomable love. You were chosen because God saw in you something unique, something that cannot be replicated or replaced. You were chosen because God had a plan for you that fits into the larger tapestry of His kingdom purposes. You are not here by accident, and you are not here without a mission. To understand this is to live with confidence and clarity. It means you no longer have to measure your worth by the opinions of others or the temporary successes or failures you experience. You are valuable because God says you are. You are called because God says you are. Your purpose is not defined by the world's standards, but by the eternal decree of heaven. There is power in embracing this truth. When you realize that you were chosen before time began, it changes how you view your challenges. It changes how you handle rejection and disappointment. It changes how you respond to criticism and fear. You begin to see every obstacle as part of the divine preparation, every delay as God's perfect timing, every struggle as a step toward your destiny. You begin to walk with a new level of boldness because you know that you are not alone. The God who chose you is the same God who will equip you, empower you, and enable you to fulfill your purpose. He is the God who calls things that are not as though they were. He breathes life into your dreams and ignites passion in your spirit. This knowledge also invites responsibility. Being chosen before time began is a call to stewardship. You are entrusted with gifts, talents, and anointing to impact the world around you. The calling on your life is not just for your benefit, but for the benefit of others. You were chosen to be a light in the darkness, a voice in the silence, a source of hope in despair. It's easy to get caught up in the distractions of life and forget who you are. The world constantly tries to define you by your failures, your limitations, or your circumstances. But God's word over you is louder and stronger. His choosing is unchangeable. His purpose is irrevocable. So when doubt creeps in, when the enemy tries to convince you that you are ordinary, remember this: you were chosen before time began. You are part of a divine plan that stretches across eternity. You carry a destiny that is too big for you to handle alone. But with God, all things are possible. Step into the fullness of who you are. Walk boldly in the calling that was placed on your life before you even knew what it meant. Allow the truth of your divine selection to fuel your faith, empower your actions, and inspire your future. The moment you embrace that you were chosen before time began is the moment you begin to live the life you were created for. It's the moment your purpose shifts from a distant dream to an unavoidable reality. It's the moment when God's eternal plan for your life begins to unfold, and the world begins to see the greatness that was hidden inside you all along. There is a time for everything under heaven, and every season has its appointed hour. God moves in perfect timing, and His divine timetable is unfolding even as you listen. This is no ordinary moment. This is not a time to delay, to hesitate, or to procrastinate. The hour is now. The urgency of what is coming demands your full attention, your complete readiness, and your unwavering faith. The clock is ticking. Every second brings us closer to the midnight hour. The time when everything hidden will be revealed, when the divine mysteries will come into the light, and when the chosen ones will step fully into their destiny. This is a sacred appointment, a decisive moment in the course of your life and the destiny of the world. It is a moment that cannot be ignored or postponed. Urgency is not just about being quick or rushing. It is about recognizing the significance of the time you are in. It is about understanding that there is a divine plan at work, and you are part of it. The hour you are living in is pregnant with revelation, with breakthrough, with transformation. The enemy wants you to believe that you have all the time in the world, that your purpose can wait, your calling can be delayed, and your breakthrough is still far away. But this is a lie. God's timing is perfect, and His calendar is exact. When He says the hour is now, it means that the window of opportunity is open, but it will not stay open forever. The midnight hour will strike, and with it the moment of decision will come. It is a moment when the faithful will be rewarded, when the prepared will be lifted, and when the unprepared will miss their chance. This urgency demands that you listen carefully and respond immediately. It calls for spiritual alertness, a readiness of heart and mind to receive the truth that God is revealing. It is not a time for casual hearing or distracted minds. The revelation coming your way is life-changing, destiny-defining, and purpose-aligning. To ignore it is to risk missing the very reason you were chosen. The hour is now because God is removing the veil of confusion and bringing clarity to your path. He is lifting the fog of uncertainty and replacing it with the light of understanding. What has been hidden in darkness is about to be made known. Secrets that were locked away for seasons are now being unlocked, and the timing could not be more critical. When the clock strikes midnight, there will be no more waiting, no more delay. What you've prepared for in prayer, in fasting, in quiet moments of reflection, will come to fruition. What you have believed for in faith, even when circumstances seemed impossible, will manifest. The hour you have been longing for has arrived, but with this urgency comes a challenge. The enemy will try to distract you, to confuse you, to keep you from hearing the voice of God clearly. You will face moments of doubt, moments when fear tries to paralyze your faith. This is why urgency is also a call to vigilance. To survive the midnight hour, you must be spiritually awake. You must be anchored in the Word, rooted in prayer, and connected to the source of all wisdom. You must also be willing to act swiftly. Revelation without action is like a seed planted but never watered. The moment you receive divine insight, you must move forward in faith. This is not a time to delay or second guess. The divine timetable is relentless, and the clock is not waiting for anyone. The hour is now because the world is shifting. What was once hidden is becoming visible. What was once distant is now near. What was once impossible is now within reach. This is your moment to rise up, to step out, and to claim what God has prepared for you from the beginning. It is also a time of accountability. God is watching how you respond to this urgency. Will you listen? Will you obey? Will you align yourself with His will? The answer to these questions will determine the trajectory of your life from this moment forward. Remember, the midnight hour is not just a countdown to an ending. It is the dawn of a new beginning. It is the moment when God's purpose for your life shifts from preparation to manifestation. The hour is now for you to embrace your destiny with boldness, with clarity, and with unshakable faith. So, do not wait. Do not delay. The revelation that is coming to you is a gift of divine timing, a key that unlocks the door to your future. Listen closely, act decisively, and move forward with confidence. The hour is now, and your destiny is waiting on the other side of this moment. This is your time. The clock is ticking. The midnight hour is near. And with it comes a revelation so powerful, so life-changing, that your story will never be the same again. There is a sacred truth that few understand. God's deepest secrets are not scattered like common knowledge to the masses. They are reserved for those who have been prepared, those who have been refined, and those who have been chosen to carry the weight of divine responsibility. The mysteries you seek, the wisdom you desire, and the power you long for have not been withheld to punish you or keep you distant. No, they have been carefully guarded, not as a barrier, but as a process of preparation. The divine realm operates on principles of readiness and stewardship. God does not hand over the keys to His kingdom to just anyone. He tests, trains, and transforms those He has called, so that when the time comes, they will be ready to carry the burden of knowledge and authority without being crushed by it. There is a season for learning, a season for growing, and a season for receiving revelation. If you rush ahead without preparation, you risk being overwhelmed by what you are not yet equipped to handle. This is why God's secrets have often been hidden in plain sight. They are not secret to keep you out, but to keep you safe. Safe from the danger of misuse, misunderstanding, or premature exposure. The power that comes with divine knowledge is immense. It can build or destroy. It can bless or curse. And so God's wisdom is reserved for those who demonstrate faithfulness in the small things, those who walk humbly and seek His face with a pure heart. The process of preparation is not easy. It involves discipline, patience, and surrender. It often means waiting in silence when you want to speak, trusting when you want to doubt, and obeying when you do not understand. This preparation is a spiritual forge, refining your character, strengthening your faith, and aligning your will with God's purpose. It is in this place of preparation that your heart is made ready to receive what the world cannot give, divine insight that changes everything. God's secrets come with responsibility. They are not a privilege to be flaunted, but a trust to be honored. When you receive revelation, you become a steward of sacred truth. You are called to use what you know not for selfish gain, but for the advancement of God's kingdom and the blessing of others. This is why preparation matters so much, because the consequences of misuse are severe. It says the secrets of heaven are powerful, and power in the wrong hands can cause destruction rather than deliverance. To be prepared means to cultivate a life of integrity, humility, and obedience. It means choosing character over convenience, faith over fear, and purpose over pleasure. It means understanding that the journey toward revelation is as important as the revelation itself. God is less interested in quick knowledge and more interested in mature wisdom. He wants to ensure that when He reveals His secrets to you, you are ready not only to understand them, but to live them out with honor and grace. There is a story in Scripture about servants entrusted with talents. The master gave each servant according to their ability. And when he returned, he expected them to have stewarded what was given wisely. This is the same principle God applies to His secrets. You will be given revelation according to your readiness, and you will be accountable for how you use it. This accountability is not meant to discourage you, but to motivate you to prepare well, to be faithful in small things, so that you can be trusted with greater things. Many desire the power, but few desire the preparation. Many seek the blessing, but shy away from the responsibility. But God's kingdom operates differently. Here, preparation is the gateway to power. Without preparation, revelation remains locked and destiny remains delayed. The moment you commit to being prepared, you step into a higher level of divine favor, because God honors those who honor the process. So if you find yourself waiting, wrestling, or wondering why the doors have not yet opened fully, understand this: God is preparing you. He is not withholding from you because He does not love you. He is not silent because He has forgotten you. He is working in your life, shaping you, teaching you, and aligning you with His perfect will. The knowledge and power you seek are coming, but they will come in God's perfect timing when you are fully ready. This is a call to patience and perseverance, a call to spiritual maturity and readiness. To seek God's secrets is noble, but to prepare for them is wise. The privilege of knowing God's heart, walking in His power, and fulfilling His purpose is reserved for the prepared. Be that person. Embrace the preparation. Treasure the process. And when the secrets are finally revealed to you, you will be ready to carry them with the honor and responsibility they deserve. Remember, divine revelation is not a prize for the impatient, but a reward for the prepared. It is not a gift for the careless, but a trust for the faithful. As you walk this journey, know that your preparation is not in vain. It is the very foundation upon which God will build your destiny, the training ground for your ministry, and the proving place for your future. The secrets of God are not for the many, but for the prepared. And that prepared person is you. There is a moment in every journey when darkness seems to close in from every side. It is the night of the soul, the season of silence, the time when confusion clouds your mind and fear presses on your heart. What you are going through right now, the trials, the setbacks, the unanswered prayers, is not a sign of defeat. It is the darkness just before dawn, the test that precedes your breakthrough. This moment is not a curse, it is a doorway. Many have walked this path before you. They have faced the night when nothing seems to make sense, when hope feels distant, and when the future appears uncertain. But what separates those who emerge victorious from those who remain stuck in despair is understanding that this darkness is part of the divine process. It is not the end, it is the preparation for a new beginning. The midnight hour is a powerful metaphor because it reminds us that the darkest hour is often right before the light appears. In the natural, we know that dawn follows night. It is inevitable. The sun does not fail to rise. The promise of daylight is guaranteed. Spiritually, this principle remains true. When you feel overwhelmed by darkness, know that a new day is coming. The breakthrough you have been waiting for is on the horizon. This darkness serves a purpose. It tests your faith. It reveals your character. It strips away the superficial and exposes what is truly inside you. In the silence, God is working. Even when you cannot see it, even when you cannot feel it. Your current struggle is a refining fire, burning away doubt, fear, and weakness, and producing strength, courage, and clarity. When you face confusion and uncertainty, resist the temptation to give up or turn back. Remember that God often allows the night to teach us lessons we cannot learn any other way. It is in the darkness that faith grows deepest roots. It is in the silence that God's voice becomes clearest. It is in the trial that God's power becomes most evident. You may be tempted to think that this is your defeat, that you have been forgotten or abandoned, but this is a lie designed to steal your hope and rob you of your destiny. The midnight hour is not a curse. It is a doorway. It is the portal through which you must pass to enter into a new season of victory and purpose. History is filled with stories of people who faced the darkest moments only to come out stronger, wiser, and more anointed. Joseph was thrown into a pit, sold into slavery, and forgotten in prison. But that darkness was the preparation for his rise to power and influence. David fled for his life, hiding in caves and wilderness, but the darkness was shaping him for the throne. Jesus himself spent 40 days in the wilderness, facing temptation and isolation before beginning his ministry of redemption. Your darkness is no different. It is not a sign of failure, but a sign of testing. It is the proving ground for your faith. What you endure now will prepare you to walk in the fullness of your calling. The challenges you face are temporary, but the breakthrough that follows will be eternal. Hold fast to your faith during this time. Cling to the promises of God when all around you seems uncertain. Speak words of life and hope over yourself, even when your feelings say otherwise. Remember that God's timing is perfect, and He is never late. The night may be long, but dawn is coming. The darkness before dawn also teaches patience. God's timing is never hurried. He knows exactly when to move and how to bring about His purposes. Sometimes the delay is not denial, but divine preparation. It is in this waiting that your character is strengthened, your vision is clarified, and your spirit is made resilient. Do not rush the process. Do not despise the days of small beginnings or the seasons of silence. These are the days when your faith muscles are being exercised. These are the moments that build endurance for the journey ahead. As the midnight hour approaches, do not despair. Instead, see it as an invitation to rise. Rise in faith, rise in hope, rise in expectation. The darkness you are in is only temporary. The dawn is nearer than you think. And when it breaks, it will shine with such brilliance that it will dispel every shadow, every doubt, and every fear. The breakthrough is coming. The victory is assured. The test will become your testimony. And the darkness before dawn will be remembered not as a time of defeat, but as the crucible that shaped you for greatness. Stand firm. Keep the faith. The dawn is almost here. Destiny is not a comfortable place. It is not a path paved with certainty or lined with ease. To walk into your divine destiny requires more than desire or dreams. It demands courage and obedience. It requires a heart that listens intently to the voice of God, a spirit willing to obey without hesitation, and feet ready to move forward even when the way is unclear. Many wait for perfect conditions before stepping into their purpose. They look for clarity, for a sign so unmistakable that there is no room for doubt. But destiny rarely waits for clarity. It calls you to act in faith before the full picture is revealed. It asks you to trust the unseen, to move by the leading of the Spirit, and to walk boldly on the road less traveled. Courage is not the absence of fear, but the decision to move forward despite fear. It is the willingness to face uncertainty, to embrace the unknown, and to confront the risks that come with obedience. Walking into your destiny means standing firm when everyone else doubts, continuing the race when the finish line is not yet visible, and pressing on when the world tries to tell you to stop. Obedience is the foundation of faith. It is the tangible expression of trust in God's plan. When you obey, even in small things, you open the door for greater revelation and greater responsibility. Obedience aligns your will with God's will, and it positions you to receive the blessings and breakthroughs He has prepared. Many times, obedience requires sacrifice. It demands giving up comfort, convenience, or even popular opinion. It may mean stepping away from what is familiar and safe into territory that feels uncertain or risky. But remember, the road to destiny is rarely easy because it is a path of transformation. God uses the challenges and sacrifices to shape your character and prepare you for the fullness of your purpose. To walk in destiny, you must learn to listen, really listen to God's voice above the noise of the world. That voice may come as a still, small whisper, a sudden impression, or a persistent nudging in your spirit, but it requires your attention. It demands that you cultivate a sensitivity to the Spirit through prayer, meditation, and the study of His Word. Without listening, obedience becomes impossible, and without obedience, destiny remains out of reach. There will be moments when the path ahead is dark, when the instructions are unclear, and when doubts try to paralyze your steps. In those moments, courage becomes your anchor, and obedience becomes your compass. You move forward not because you see the whole staircase, but because you trust the one who calls you to the first step. The heroes of faith did not have all the answers. Abraham was called to leave everything he knew and go to a land he had never seen. Moses faced a hostile crowd and uncertain leadership. Esther risked her life by stepping into the king's presence uninvited. Each of these stories illustrates that destiny is not about having a perfect plan, but about responding to God's call with courage and obedience. Remember, destiny is a journey, not a one-time event. It is the process of daily choosing to say yes to God's voice, even when it conflicts with your comfort or your understanding. It is a commitment to walk in faithfulness, even when the results are not immediate or obvious. It is a willingness to be shaped, tested, and refined along the way. The courage to obey often comes from a deep knowing that God is faithful, that He will equip you, and that He will never leave you alone. It It comes from the confidence that your destiny is worth every sacrifice, every trial, and every moment of uncertainty. When you embrace this courage, you become unstoppable, because your strength is not your own but flows from the one who called you. Obedience coupled with courage unlocks doors that no force can shut. It activates supernatural favor, opens heavenly windows, and ushers in divine acceleration. It is the key that transforms dreams into reality and potential into purpose. So, if you are standing at the threshold of your destiny, unsure of the next step, remember this: courage is required, obedience is essential, and faith is your guide. Do not wait for all the answers. Do not wait for perfect conditions. Step forward in trust, move boldly in obedience, and embrace the courage that God provides. Your destiny is calling. The path may be unclear, but the destination is sure. Walk with courage, obey with faith, and watch as God unfolds the incredible purpose He designed just for you. The time for waiting is over. The long seasons of silence, the quiet moments of preparation, the patient endurance of trials, all of it has led to this moment. Your season of unveiling is here. This is the hour when God begins to lift the curtain, when the mysteries that were once hidden start to come into full view. What was once secret, what was once locked away in the depths of heaven, is now being revealed to you, and this revelation will change everything. Understand, this unveiling is not just about gaining knowledge or insight. It is about transformation. It is about shifting your perspective, your purpose, and your destiny. The truths God is ready to reveal will not simply add to what you know. They will redefine who you are and what you are called to do. This is a season of radical clarity, divine alignment, and supernatural empowerment. For too long, you may have felt like you were stuck in a place of waiting, watching, hoping, praying for your breakthrough. But that waiting has served a divine purpose. It has been a time of preparation, a time of faith building, a time of seasoning. And now the waiting is over. The veil is being lifted. The secrets that were once reserved for a select few are now being made known to you, because God trusts you with the responsibility that comes with revelation. This unveiling is a sacred moment. It requires your full attention and your deepest listening. This is not a time for distraction, for casual hearing, or for divided focus. The words you hear, the insights you receive, and the wisdom that unfolds in this season will have a direct impact on your future. You must listen carefully. Your destiny depends on it. God's unveiling often comes in unexpected ways, through a sudden insight, a divine encounter, a breakthrough in understanding, or a shift in circumstance. Be alert and sensitive to the movement of the Spirit. Don't miss what God is doing because you are distracted by the noise of the world or the doubts in your mind. This is a sacred moment, and it demands your wholehearted response. The unveiling will also reveal your purpose with greater clarity. What was once a vague dream or distant hope will become a clear, tangible mission. You will see your path illuminated by divine light. Doors that seemed closed will open. Opportunities that seemed out of reach will suddenly come within grasp. This is the season when your calling moves from possibility to reality. But with revelation comes responsibility. God's truths are not just for your benefit. They are meant to be shared, to be lived out, and to impact the lives of others. The unveiling is a call to action. It demands that you step into your role with confidence, humility, and faithfulness. The insights you receive are tools to build God's kingdom and to fulfill the purpose for which you were created. Expect challenges as well, because unveiling can disrupt the status quo. It may require you to leave behind old habits, limiting beliefs, or even relationships that no longer serve your growth. Transformation is rarely comfortable, but it is necessary. The old must give way to the new. The familiar must be replaced by the divine, and the ordinary must be elevated to the extraordinary. Your season of unveiling is also a season of celebration. It is the reward for your faithfulness, the fruit of your endurance, and the manifestation of God's promises. As you embrace this new season, rejoice in the breakthroughs, the insights, and the progress you see. Celebrate the fact that you have moved from waiting to action, from uncertainty to clarity, from preparation to purpose. Remember, this unveiling is just the beginning of a new chapter. What God reveals now is a foundation on which you will build the rest of your life. It is a launching pad for greater things, a springboard into destiny. The future that once seemed distant and elusive is now within your reach because God is unveiling it before your eyes. This moment is sacred. It is a divine appointment. You were made for this season, and the timing could not be more perfect. So, tune your heart to listen, open your mind to receive, and prepare to move forward in faith. The mysteries of God are unfolding, and your life will never be the same. This is your season of unveiling. The time for waiting is over. Your future is being written in real time by the hand of the Almighty. Listen carefully. Your destiny depends on it. So now, my dear friend, the choice is before you. Will you step into the fullness of what God has prepared? Will you rise up in courage, obedience, and faith? The hour has come. The veil is lifting. The darkness is giving way to dawn. Your season of unveiling is here, and with it, the opportunity to walk boldly into your divine destiny. Remember this: you were not called to be ordinary. You were chosen for greatness. You were created for purpose. And no matter what you faced, no matter how long the night, God's promises never fail. He is faithful to bring to light every secret, every plan, every blessing that He has reserved for you. So listen carefully, obey promptly, and move forward fearlessly, because your life, your destiny, your future depends on it. The clock is ticking. The midnight hour is upon us, but you, chosen one, are ready. Now go forth and fulfill the purpose for which you were born.